Hey pilots, Bounty here from Bounty Gaming. We're going to be discussing the live fire update. We're going to go over the things we like about it, the things we don't like about it, and we're also just going to wrap up as a day one, thoughts, feedback, opinions, all that sort of stuff, the first impressions of live fire. So what I'd like you guys to do is jump down in the comments and let me know the things you like about the update, the things you don't like about the update, and if there was one thing you could change in Titanfall 2, what would that be? Alrighty guys, so the things that I think are really cool about the live fire update is that we do get a new game mode. There are quite a few game modes already included in Titanfall 2, and not often do players sort of inspect these game modes and have a look, but what's really awesome is that the double XP side of things is really going to encourage players who aren't currently at max level to go on over and check out whichever game mode currently has double XP, to try it out, maybe get a party of friends, have a couple of games, and they might actually discover it suits them a lot better than something like attrition or even live fire. They might be naturally really good Titan versus Titan players, they might be really good on the pilots versus pilot side of things, or they might just like capturing flags or hard points and things like that. Going on from there, the other awesome thing is double XP for these game modes. Not all pilots have the time, the luxury to get all the way to Gen 10, so this double XP is really going to help those guys who are at Gen 2 or Gen 3 or who have not even Gen'd at all, to get in some extra merits at the time they play, whether it's during their happy hour with the 5 extra merits that'll automatically give you 10, which is just a free level. For completing a game, you get a free level once a day. So it's very generous, and that double XP is going to help a lot of pilots out there. For the pilots who are at max level, you can now equip the Stoic Black Pilot skin. Originally this wasn't available. It did unlock when you reached max level, but you couldn't actually unlock it within the game. There was some sort of bug that even though you had the requirements to wear the skin, it would just show up as being locked and you could not equip it at all. You could, however, get the Stoic Black skin for your weapons and other items, just not your pilot. So thankfully they've fixed that, they've sorted it out, and you can finally equip that Stoic Black skin. Next on our list of things we like is the Mixtape matchmaking idea. Not the actual implementation or execution of it, we'll get to that shortly, but the idea of having a mixtape or searching across multiple modes, because there is a lot more value to give out there. There are a lot more interesting game modes than just attrition or even live fire. There are capture the flag, amped hardpoint. You probably have heard of these game modes, but maybe not played them, either because there's no pilots online in those game modes, or it's just not something that interests you. Maybe they're too slow, maybe there's not enough merits you can obtain from the modes, or maybe you are just happy with attrition. So with these mixtapes you can enable multiple modes. You can pick and choose, deselect modes you don't want, select modes you want to play, and then click on search and it will find you a game in one of those game modes. Another thing that's awesome guys, and we're using it in this clip, is the Northstar core buff. So when you get your core ability, it still isn't perfect, to be honest. I still feel like it's a little bit weaker than it should be. It's not 100% feeling like a core ability. When you compare it to something like Legion or Tone, they do a ridiculous amount of damage. You can get multiple pilot and Titan kills using core. With Northstar, not so much. It's more of a 1v1. So we're going to get our core here guys, and you'll be able to see that. I like that it's been buffed. You might see a few more Northstars out there, except for the guy just in front of me there using Tone. But anyway guys, give it a try, see what you think of Northstar's new ultimate, and whether you think it's a good improvement, a step in the right direction, and whether you think it needs a bit more tweaking. I think personally a little bit more damage or better hit detection for the rockets would be more helpful. There are new executions guys, that's another awesome thing. You know we love executing pilots, you know we love wearing them like a t-shirt, and it's awesome to have these new features coming out. There are 2 new executions, and I'm already waiting for more. I'm ready for more executions, wearing pilots like t-shirts, throwing them in the ground, smacking them in the face multiple times. That's the really fun part about Titanfall 2, is when you sneak up behind someone and you can really, not so much embarrass them, but you can really sort of catch them off guard. I'm a bit gutted I didn't get that kill there. So guys, for the next part, the live fire game mode is actually really awesome. It's a close, action-packed, lots of things going on type gameplay, elimination style as well. It's very exciting, it's something new, and the maps that came along with it, I actually think both maps are awesome. Quite a few people, they only enjoy stacks. They're not so keen on the other map because there's trees and bushes and things like that in the way, but I think they both offer something different. And those maps are really awesome. I'd quite like to see a larger version of the maps implemented into other game modes such as attrition, capture the flag, and so on and so forth, because they are pretty cool. It's nice to have that green scenery, and then it's also nice on stacks to see all those boxes and things like that. We also got new banners and patches, mostly relating to achievements or progressions for live fire. So if you win a certain amount of games, you get a certain amount of kills, you're going to unlock banners and a couple of patches there. They're not the hardest to unlock. At about 100 games you will get the highest level one, but 100 games at 5 minutes, you know, that's 500 minutes. That's quite a lot of live fire you've actually got to invest. So guys, we're just checking out the Archer, and what I noticed just quickly, we'll cover it in more detail later on, but I noticed the rocket seemed to fly a lot faster and be a lot more direct, and not so fluffy and sort of going around the map and then hitting the target. And that makes it a lot easier, a lot faster to get those really crucial Titan kills. So guys, the things that we don't really dislike about this update, personally, this is just my opinion, the submachine gun live fire meta at the moment. When you play this game mode, it is absolutely littered with amped car, all the other submachine guns, devotion, and just honestly rubbish weapons. Just rubbish. I was hoping it was going to be a more skill-based game mode where you see Wingman, Wingman Elite, Kraber, DMR, maybe even Softball, a couple of those Grenadier class, SMR, those types of weapons there. A couple of pistol-only pilots would be awesome, but it's honestly littered with submachine guns. So I mean, it takes a while for the patch to breathe, and I hope people understand there are better options out there. So we'll just be a bit more patient, but I hope it changes, because submachine guns, either 8 auto, it is getting a little bit frustrating. Mixtape matchmaking reality, so this is when searching for a game in Titanfall 2. The way they told us it would work, searching across all game modes, yes, that is true, but the key here, guys, the key is that it is not simultaneous. So when you search, it will say, hey, we're searching for capture the flag. And then you cancel the search, you go back in, it will say, okay, we're searching for live fire. Then you cancel, go back in, it will say, oh, now we're searching for attrition. So it's searching across your mixtape, but only one by one for each mode. Another thing that we don't really dislike at the moment, guys, is the level cap. And yeah, I mean, it is easy for me to say because I am at the level cap, but I just think that it should be increased to at least Gen 15, just to get the pilots who are really putting in the extra hours just a bit more room to breathe, so they can feel like they're still leveling up, getting the most out of double XP, and enjoying the patch to the full extent. There doesn't need to be any more skins or unlocks, or maybe just one banner. Even if there isn't, just a couple of levels so we can get that feeling that we're actually progressing in the game. Another thing I noticed, guys, is the player count. This is kind of due to matchmaking. It's now splitting players across a lot more game modes. I did find it more difficult, and a couple of times there just weren't enough players online, and I think that's because the total population was being spread amongst these game modes, whereas usually everyone would pile into attrition. You could quickly see how many people were online, but hey, it's not a deal breaker. Alrighty guys, so just another thing that I'm not really a fan of at the moment is the patch delivery. So some things that are released, like the mixtape matchmaking, they are still in beta, and I totally understand not everything comes out fully refined. They do take a few versions and iterations to get things perfect, but I just wish it was sort of alerted to us or mentioned a little bit earlier that, hey, these things are actually in beta, we're testing them out, we do need more time, because I have a feeling that all of the posts and videos and tweets that they post are, they were really getting us on board this hype train, getting us all excited, and then we sort of come back home to a semi-finished product, and that's not the best feeling to have. And just lastly, guys, the server spikes, they're still around, but I do know they're working their best to get them sorted out. They're investigating behind the scenes, implementing things so they can further see where the issue stems from, so that's all good. And guys, I'll just like to jump over here. You will hear a click because I'm going to bring up the page. Just an update from Jay in regards to the matchmaking. There's been quite a few people complaining on Reddit, and he's come back and given us an update and said, thanks for the feedback, everyone. We have tools in place to gather player data for this, in terms of who's playing what, how many players are playing capture the flag and things like that. We will use this information along with community feedback to best find solutions for improving the experience. This is not the final version of mixtape matchmaking. This is our first step in our grand experiment. We need data, and that means getting it out there and players to start using it, utilizing it, seeing how they go. Fortunately, we won't be making any changes on the server side. Fortunately, we will be making many changes on the server side, so you won't need to download updates and wait. They can actually make tweaks and changes ongoing. So some feedback here that he is asking for is, how do you feel about having to select or deselect modes? Personally, I don't find that's any issue. I enable them all and it's all good. What modes do you turn off? I turn off none. What modes do you turn on? All of them. That's just the opposite. What do you prefer, to find a match quick or have more variety? Personally, just to be a bit difficult, it would be nice to just have a balance. I don't mind if it takes 3 minutes to find a match, but if that match is something different, that's awesome. I don't really want to have those 10 to 20 second search windows and just be landed in the same match all the time, if that makes sense. Anyway guys, we're going to let the patch soak in, and we're going to update in a couple of weeks to see how things have progressed, see if the submachine gun and shotgun meta has changed in live fire, and I'm looking forward to sharing an update with you guys, looking forward to hearing all your feedback, reading all your comments on the update. By all means, upload a video, I'll watch it, I'll check it out, show me some gameplay on live fire, and it's going to be wicked. So hang on tight guys, hope you're enjoying the ride so far, and just in front of you right now you'll be seeing a video of the mixtape matchmaking. So this is something that they're still going to be working on. It's not perfect at the moment, and as you can see here, you can select, deselect certain modes, you can create your own mixtape, and you can toggle them all on or toggle them all off using that little button there. You can right click or press whichever button on console to get more information about the mode, and then search. Although it's looking a little bit different. Usually what would happen here is it would start searching, so we'll just try, there we go. So the servers are having issues, probably everyone downloading the update. Anyway guys, thanks so much for tuning in, cheers for all your support. It's going to be a wicked update, we've got a lot of work to put in, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Enjoy your weekend on live fire, and I'll see you on the frontier. Peace.